drunk driving. San Diego State back tomorrow night against Boise State for into their Mountain West Conference play. Boise State brings in a record of 9-4. That game will be going at 7:00. Schaefer will get you at 7. Fletch and I'll get you on the pregame starting at 6. And the Holiday Bowl between Arizona and SMU gets going tonight from San Diego. That game will be at 5:00 right here on San Diego Sports 760. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Where are we going in sports?
Sound off like you got a pair.
Lot of ground to cover today. Some interesting stuff from the college football playoff.
It's revenge and satisfaction. 24-14 winners over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Miami to the Final Four.
This one is finally over. And Ole Miss wins 39-34.
Third one, looking to throw. Launching to the end zone. Surrounds out there. Touchdown Hoosiers. Pouring it on.
And the final weekend of the NFL season.
Let's get to work and let's go try to play our best game. Try to coach our best game.
We'll get you ready with all of the scenarios. And Arizona and SMU meet up in the Holiday Bowl tonight.
Let's go! That's football!
Now we kick off 2026 from the San Diego Sports 760 studios inside the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Friday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over. Then John Schaefer is going to be on the call of the Holiday Bowl alongside Rich Ornberger coming up later tonight. What a day we have here in San Diego, huh? A little break in between some ridiculous rainstorms that ruined a lot of people's last few days. That's going to be big on the weekend as well. But the Holiday Bowl sneaks in on the one real pretty day we've had here early on in 2026. How about it? It's 2026, everybody.
2026
feels a little strange. Hi, Sammy. How are you?
What's up, dude? Doing well. Ringing in the new year. What was how was your party the other night that you were so excited for everyone to come over for all night?
We had a good time. Look, it was raining, so the barbecue plan got nixed, but we went out and grabbed a drink at the Riviera before we went down and kind of battened down the hatches. I love the Riviera, man. We go there all the time. But battened down the hatches at the house, played a bunch of board games, drank a bunch of beer. We had a good little New Year's Eve party heading into 2026. And now we're here. We're here in 2026. And what did we get rewarded with for making it through 2025? Well, some pure chaos in the college football playoff, I would say. That was a fun couple of days in the college football playoff. Yesterday, you had the morning kind of chaos between Alabama and Indiana. Never really looked like much of a game. But we got that game between Ole Miss and Georgia, which was fantastic from nuts to bolt, from kick to finish. In the final 2 minutes of that game, felt like it took about an hour and a half. I don't know how much time came off the clock in real time, but between the entire stage coming on the field for the trophy presentation to the entire stage having to make its way back off for a play that had 19 laterals, which it seemed like 1.5 of them were legal laterals, that was chaos, man. And if the college football playoff can harness a little bit of that madness and bring it in to the quarterfinals, who knows what's happening in the semifinals when we have some teams that we didn't necessarily expect to be there. Miami is in. Ole Miss is in. Oregon with an absolute drubbing of Texas Tech is in. Sammy, there's a little hope at the end of the tunnel for this college football playoff.
Well, that's what's fun is if let's say, obviously all the diehard college football fans are going to watch, but maybe you're like, my school's not in it. But
it's Ohio State, something we could all rejoice in.
Well, that's what's fun is, and I have a lot of Ohio State friends who are listening right now. So shout out to our very own big voice guy,
Buckeyes,
CJ, our big voice guy who was a diehard Miami fan. I had to give him a shout out because of his you took it to him. But like, it is fun. For years, it really felt like, especially with the 14 playoff, college football regular season ratings would be huge. And then it get to the Final Four and it would be Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, and Michigan, some kind of
Georgia,
maybe Oklahoma, some kind of grouping of those four. And it just felt like it was kind of boring. It's like, unless you were an SEC fan or Ohio State fan, you didn't really care. It's really fun that you got, think of the storylines. You got Miami, who hasn't been good in 25 years, potentially going for a title. Indiana, who's never done it before, with the number 1 overall pick at quarterback. Oregon, which is a huge brand, who also has a quarterback going to be the number 1 overall pick. And then Ole Miss, the team who lost its head coach. No one gave a shot except yours truly, Sammy Long, on this show last week. I called the upset, but Ole Miss, and then they're winning these upset games, and they're looking for their first title. Like it's a fun storyline and a fun kind of college football playoff. I think that if you're a casual fan, you can really get behind. But I do wish, like, Dan Lanning was right, and Dan Lanning made a point, the Oregon head coach, about how the national championship should have been wrapped up January 1st. Like, this whole waiting weeks in between games, it hurts the sport. And I wish that they would have just played the entire month of December, and the national championship would have been last night.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. It needed to already be over. Now, one thing I'll point out about Miami, did you see 59-year-old Michael Irvin celebrating?
Him and Ray Lewis on the sideline?
How about him going shirtless? The dude looks amazing. Michael Irvin still has a six-pack. He's 59 years old, Sammy.
He's in the gym.
But it was a fun couple of days of college football, man. That was very cool to see, especially Ohio State losing, which is something we could all rejoice in. Our buddy Jamar jumping in early on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760 saying Kiffin might not let his assistants coach Ole Miss in the semis, and that's a B move. Sammy, we were talking about this a little bit before.
Yeah, we're about to get to that.
This is crazy, man. I don't. So Lane Kiffin has collected a total of $500,000 so far. Let's be very clear about that. It's $250 per college playoff win that Ole Miss does. And Ole Miss has won 2 games. So he's collected $500,000 already from this college football playoff. But what's the latest on this storyline with the assistant coaches?
So there are 6 assistant coaches. So Pete Golding, the acting head coach, he is the head coach going forward. He's the defensive coordinator, he's still calling defensive plays. Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, is coming to LSU to be the OC at LSU, along with 6 other assistants. So there's the number one story on ESPN right now is they might, for next week when they're playing Miami for the shot to go to the national championship game, because the transfer portal opened today. So all the college football head coaches, they're scrambling to get their guys in place for next year. He let them coach the first couple games. Lane Kiffin might not let them coach
because he needs them for the transfer portal.
Because he needs them for the transfer portal. He needs them to build LSU's roster. And the storyline between this, Fletch, I don't know if you were watching like the post game and everything, from Lane Kiffin congratulating him to the players, and good for the players, by the way. And I was on record. I actually didn't have a problem with Lane Kiffin leaving, so I'm not going to backtrack that. But good for the players for also going, yeah, screw you. Like, we're doing this without you, and you're not a part of this, and you're not going to be a part of it, no matter how much you want to congratulate and act like you got him there. And so we never seen this scenario before, because everyone expected, they were 6.5-point dogs, that they would get run by Georgia last night. All of a sudden, they're going for a national championship, and their head coach is not even there. So it's would you like?
The soap opera aspect of all of this is insane. And I'm with you, man. I love what the players are saying. I didn't have a huge problem with Lane Kiffin leaving. I do have a problem with him taking credit after the fact. And he's not directly taking credit, but it's like the congratulations. Right. It's the sunning. It's the, oh, these are my guys. Like, I do have a problem with that. Like, Lane, it's time to just separate entirely.
Okay, so what is your reaction if he doesn't let them coach?
I mean, it is kind of a B move, like Jamar said, but it's also prudent for his next job. Like, it would be tough to be attacking the transfer portal the way you want to if you are 6 guys light in your staff, because it's not just so like Caleb Davis, who's the general manager at San Diego State. Yeah. A big part of his job is transfer portal, thinking 2 to 3 years ahead.
But he's talking to all the kids before even the coaches are.
Right, but it's also the coaches in the room who each have their quadrants of the country they're looking after. You know what I mean? Who each have their assignments in the transfer portal. So a lot of it's already going on at LSU, but you need everybody. This is a full team deal from a coaching staff to hit the transfer portal as hard as they do. And Lane Kiffin does need those guys, but it's also kind of a B move. And I wonder what those assistant coaches think.
Right, they're trying to go win a ring.
I've been part of this grind all year long. You want me to back out in the semifinals?
All I would say, and I do think Lane Kiffin's a great coach. I know people are starting to go, is Lane Kiffin even that good? Is it really all of his assistants? But the one thing I'll say, if he doesn't let them coach, to Jamar's point about being a B move, if he doesn't let Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, them coach, and they go beat Miami, now all of a sudden people are going, wait, so was this Pete Golding? Did you just collect a players, Rich McGuire said Sammy's guy Trinidad Chambliss was unreal. Like, is this just a benefit of the fact that you had Jackson Dart and then Trinidad Chambliss and you ended up getting this job? Like, there's going to be some questions if they keep winning, and especially because right now Lane Kiffin's going to go, these are all my guys. I hired them. So it's kind of a credit to me. If he doesn't let them coach and they win another game, there starts to be questions about Lane Kiffin's coaching aptitude.
The rallying cry in the Ole Miss locker room right now is F Coach Kiffin. Like, that's got to be it.
100%. Apparently, they were chanting at the game, the fans.
I love it. All right, real quick before we get to the big three, Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, I think he separated himself a little bit this weekend. The way he played against Alabama, I don't know if everyone else noticed this, but he ran a little bit more than he usually does. He was showcasing the escapability a little bit. It looked like once they got a lead in that game, he said, "Oh, now it's time for me to show you why I'm the number one."
Right. It wasn't, hey, I'm going to sit on a 20-point lead and go for next week. Like,
it was, I'm going to show everybody why I should be the number one pick in the draft. And I think at this point, he has to be the front runner. Now, the benefit is we get Dante Moore versus Fernando Mendoza in the semifinals.
And to your point, you pointed this out last week. A lot of these rumors about the Raiders may take, if they have the number one pick, Moore over Mendoza. A lot of this is fluff, them trying to throw stuff out early. But don't think Fernando Mendoza doesn't see that. Yeah. Don't think Fernando Mendoza doesn't know. He's like, I won the Heisman. I have the number one team in college football, and all of a sudden Dante Moore is sitting here being talked about the number one pick because he plays at Oregon.
This was get a 10-point lead and start showing some stuff. And He balled out. He was awesome. And Dante Moore, to that point, like, Oregon's defense won them that football
Yeah, that was not about Dante Moore.
No, but it was dominance over Texas Tech. All right, let's get to the big three here of our number one. We'll talk some more college football playoff in a little bit. We also have week 18 in the NFL starting tomorrow. Going to be pure chaos, especially that night game tomorrow night. We also have Aztecs versus Boise State. We'll get to all of it here over the next couple hours. But Sammy, let's smash the first big three of the day. Go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
If you want to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do it. On YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. On X at Fletch and Sammy. You can find us there. Sammy, where are we starting?
We're starting with your Niners. The game of the weekend tomorrow night. Can't wait for it. Seattle, San Francisco. So Seattle
+1 Niners.
Yeah, so Seahawks I was about to get to. Seahawks are actually 1.5-point favorite in San Francisco. The injury report, correct me on this, Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and Trent Williams are all questionable to play. Those are the three big names for the Niners that are questionable. But my question is this. Winner gets the 1 seed. Who needs the number 1 seed more? Who would it benefit the most in the playoffs after Saturday's game?
Okay, so for benefit's sake, I mean, probably pretty even. I would give the slight edge to Seattle. Younger lineup, less veteran experience, better home field advantage for Seattle. But I do think if the Niners are going to win a Super Bowl, both these teams, if they're going to win a Super Bowl, they need the home field advantage for the first few games of the postseason. I honestly think for the Niners, winning this game tomorrow night means more just for the fact that those three guys you just mentioned need to get fully healthy for the postseason. And having the 1 week bye would be huge. The thing no one's really talking about with Seattle, they've been one of the more healthy teams in all of pro football all season long. And it's insane what they've been able to do. But the Niners desperately need that week-long bye to try to get Trent Williams, George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and an absolute laundry list of defensive players healthy for the postseason.
I think I was going back and forth on this because your Niners, right, the fact that they could literally play, if they win on Saturday, they will play every game remaining if they go win a Super Bowl through Santa Clara because the Super Bowl's there. I think the loser of this game, it's a big deal because as I mentioned the other day on the show, I think even though Philly hasn't looked good, you still have to go to Philly and to take out the champ. You still have to do it. I would have more faith, actually, despite I think the Seahawks being a really good roster. I would have more faith in the Niners doing it because they've actually been there before than I would have Seattle. But I'm going to go with Seattle because of this. Sam Darnold, it's ironic how he was in the exact same position last year with the Vikings. Remember? He's playing for the 1 seed the last week of the season. He loses that one to the Lions. Then all of a sudden he goes on the road and he gets slaughtered by the Rams in that Arizona game because of the wildfires. It's kind of crazy that a year later with a different team, he has the exact same situation.
Against a division opponent.
Going on the road, just like he had to go into Detroit, has to go on the road to San Fran, win that game to potentially have the 1 seed. And if he loses, the exact same thing could happen. He'd be the 5 seed or 5 or 6.
Hopefully no wildfires this time.
Oh, yes. Hopefully no wildfires this time, 100%. And would be going on the road. So I'm going to say the Seahawks because your Niners have been in the Super Bowl before. They've been in big-time playoff games. Sam Darnold, even though he was excellent against the Rams in that Thursday night game, still hasn't proven it in the postseason. Now, I think he can do it, but that's why I think this game for Seattle is a much bigger deal than it is for your Niners.
What is Darnold's headspace going into this game? Because he knows everything you just said. Like, he knows that it's the exact same situation.
You go, if he loses this game to your Niners, everyone is going to come on and talk about all the praise that Sam Darnold has rightfully got after that Rams game.
No, it's different if it's like a 45-41 shootout chaos like it was Niners-Bears, and Sam Darnold plays great and Brock Purdy plays great.
Right, but he played bad in those 2 games last year.
For sure. He's got a lot of pressure on him, man. Whew. Good. Ramp it up. Turn up the pressure.
All right, we're going to Sunday Night Football. This one's going to be fantastic. Steelers Ravens. Lamar Jackson said there's no way in hell he is missing this game. They are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Question is this though: what team looks worse with a loss on Sunday going forward?
I'm going to say Ravens because Ravens have the quarterback. Ravens have Lamar Jackson, who I love what he said. He said, no way I'm missing this game. That's how it should be. That's kind of what we were saying earlier this week, Sammy. I'm going to say Ravens because everyone they have is in place, whereas Aaron Rodgers feels like a little more of a stopgap for Pittsburgh. And it's like, hey, if we get to the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin really is that dude as head coach. So I'm going to go Ravens because this was supposed to be like a 7-8 year run where they are competing for a Super Bowl each and every year. Whereas the Steelers feel like they got a lot of problems to solve. The Ravens have the pressure internally and externally to be one of those teams in the AFC each and every year. Not to mention, this is the year the Chiefs aren't in it. This is a year it's wide open for Lamar to actually make a run. Right,
and the Bengals. TJ Watt just said, I really feel good about asked if you would play. Not sure they could have said that a week ago. I'm excited to play. I'm going to go opposite you for every reason you just said. Pittsburgh. Because at the end of the day, if Baltimore loses this game, yes, are we going to critique Lamar? Are we going to critique the not winning the big game? But all this nonsense that we're hearing about John Harbaugh is frustrated with Lamar Jackson, and could there be changes? Well, guess what, buddy? John Harbaugh's getting fired before Lamar Jackson's getting traded, okay? Because Lamar Jackson means more to the franchise. Lamar Jacksons don't grow on trees, where John Harbaugh is a great coach, but they can find another good coach to come to Baltimore. So I think that Baltimore, at the end of the day, is going to go, we made a late season push. We started out terribly because of all the injuries. We are on the road in Pittsburgh. But if you're Pittsburgh, I mean, Jamar, all our Steeler fans that listen, people are frustrated with Mike Tomlin. And it's because what's the thing in the NFL? Either be the best or bottom out. The worst thing you can do is barely miss the playoffs because you're not picking in a spot where you're getting impact players, but you just miss the postseason, or you go to the postseason and go one and done. I know they don't have DK Metcalf, but at home, this is a big game for Mike Tomlin. This is a big game for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has already said, he's like, I hope I have suitors next year. I think I would have some suitors. There's a lot of questions. I could see Pittsburgh going with more wholesale changes. No Rodgers, no Tomlin, kind of redoing this whole kind of era versus I think the Ravens run it back next year, and we still look at the Ravens as a team that's going to be dangerous in the AFC next year.
All right, couple of YouTube chats before we get to break. Our buddy John Silva says, afternoon, everybody. He headed down to Snapdragon for this thing. Yeah, 5 o'clock tonight. Arizona, number 17 in the country, taking on SMU. It's the Holiday Bowl. Looks like they got a little break in the weather. Good timing for it. That should be a lot of fun down at Snapdragon tonight. John and Rich will be on the call. You'll hear that game right here on 760. And Rich says Fletch needs to call in sick for the Aztecs pregame show tomorrow to watch his 49ers.
I offered to do it for him. I offered to just do the pregame show because I'm just going to be honest. If the Chiefs are playing in this, I would be sick. Like, I'll
see. This is a soft mentality. I will be at work tomorrow, getting everybody ready.
I love San Diego State. I went there. If the Chiefs are playing, there's no way I could be on a pregame show.
I will be there tomorrow, focused, 100% locked in on Miles Bird and Reese Dixon Waters and Magoon Guath.
And Brock Purdy's stat line after the first half.
There will be 0.005% of my brain wandering to the San Francisco 49ers.
Are you gonna have the promotions kids set up a TV in front of you?
To be determined.
Here's the thing: is our listeners are they know that you're a Niner fan, so they're gonna come say stuff to you while we're on air tomorrow. If you're not watching the game, you're gonna get it spoiled. They're gonna say something.
I'm gonna be 100% locked in on the Aztecs pregame show, and if something happens, something happens. All right, take a quick break here. On the other side, let's get you ready for that Aztecs basketball game, as well as some info on who's in, who's out in the Holiday Bowl. That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Tonight, it's the Holiday Bowl right here on San Diego Sports 760. John Schaefer, Rich Ornberger on the call when Arizona takes on SMU. Kickoff at 5 o'clock. You're going to hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Should be a good one. Both these teams had really nice seasons heading into Snapdragon Stadium tonight. And it looks like, Sammy, correct me if I'm wrong here, the majority of dudes are playing on both sides.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because Fafita, the quarterback, is actually like pretty good. And he's not gonna be like a first round pick or anything, but could get drafted. Arizona's been a fun offense all year, a fun team. They kind of had that big matchup against Arizona State at the end of the year when both teams were running. So Arizona football's been good. SMU football's turned out some pretty good NFL talent recently. So should be a fun one tonight. I'm excited for this Holiday Bowl, and it's cool. It's cool that everyone's playing because it makes the game just so much better.
From what I've heard, it's going to be a great crowd down there. I do believe there are very limited tickets still available at holidaybowl.com, but the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl gets going at 5 o'clock tonight. You're going to hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 if you're driving around and not at the game, or if you have one of those cool little radios that you can pop right in your ear, also known as the free iHeartRadio app or a transistor radio. All right, Sammy, tomorrow night, Saturday night at Viejas Arena, it's a big one for San Diego State. Look, there are very few teams who can come into Viejas Arena and win consistently. Boise State is one of those teams. Over the last few years, there's nobody in the country, not one team in the country outside of San Diego State that has as much success inside Viejas Arena as the Boise State Broncos. They're good again this year. Now, they haven't played the lineup of teams that San Diego State has played, but we know this. Boise State, not scared of the environment. Also, weird limbo phase where students aren't quite back from Christmas break yet. Means the crowd at Viejas Arena, there's always one of these games a year, isn't going to be its same chaotic, normal show self. It might be a little lackluster. So San Diego State is going to have to dig deep in this one because as we look at the season as a whole, we can talk all we want about that Troy loss. It's there. It's not going away, right? But that means in conference play, you got to be damn near perfect at home. I'm giving them like one home loss this season if they still want that at-large bid. So tomorrow night just becomes that much bigger of a game. And for your first home game or second, I guess, with the Air Force game, second, but really first since kind of the reboot of the Mountain West schedule, this is a brutal test for San Diego State.
It is. And this is a team, Boise State plays 9 guys. They play 9 guys heavy minutes. A lot like San Diego State. San Diego State goes 11, but primarily, hanging that 9, 10, 11 range. This is one of the first tests that wasn't Arizona or Baylor, Michigan, where, because a lot of these teams, your Air Forces, your Troys, your guys, they kind of have a 7-man rotation because they don't have the talent, the depth, the recruiting of a San Diego State. They're kind of shortening the rotation and counting on their quote stars to really deliver. Now, it was nice what the Aztecs were able to do against San Jose State. We were talking about it. I thought the defensive pressure was big. They really were working that trap early in the game. San Jose State was having some success early, and then they got after the trap and really made it hard for them to get the ball into the half court, and the Aztecs were all over them. Miles Byrd was more aggressive in that one. And in this, like, to your point, Boise State is not scared to come into Viejas. A lot of teams are like, well, we haven't had an environment like this before. Boise State has been here before. They're here every year. It should be an electric game, but we keep kind of going back to it, not to just keep saying the same thing. It comes down to the big 3. We get it. BJ Davis and these guys have been fantastic, and maybe they need to be the ones that are closing the game. But Miles Byrd, Reese Dixon Waters, Magoon Guath, if those 3 show up, this Aztecs team is really hard to beat. If they don't show up and it just kind of relies on who's coming off the bench, the Aztecs have a talented bench, but when you don't have benches are for having reliable, consistent star scores. And when they come through in the starters, then when one guy has 10 here and another guy has 12 here, and it's kind of on a night-by-night basis, you can really kind of pop off from an offensive perspective. But the big 3 really got to show up. They showed kind of signs of that against San Jose State. It's going to be a big one tomorrow night at Viejas.
The other interesting parts of this game is these are 51 and 52 in KenPom, these two teams. They've been back-to-back pretty much all season. If you've been following along with the standings and everything, this is an opportunity for San Diego State to give themselves a little bit of separation, which is needed for the Aztecs right now. And I haven't seen the spread in this one. I would imagine
they haven't released it yet.
I would imagine it's going to come out San Diego State -6.5, -7.5, something like that. That probably will be what it is. And it's important for San Diego State, much like they did against San Jose State by going on a late run, to cover these spreads at this point. That's kind of just the position they've put themselves in. So for the Aztecs, huge one tomorrow night. The other thing I'll say about San Diego State, and I expect this to be a close game tomorrow, They've really only played in one close game all season. It was the game against Troy. They lost it.
Right. They've either gotten blown out or they've blown teams out.
Exactly right. You think about every game they've had this year, and San Jose State was close within the final 3 minutes, but San Diego State pulled away. You think about Air Force, it was close at the end of the first half. San Diego State dominated the second half. So this Aztecs team needs to be battle tested in close games. We know there's going to be a million of them in Mountain West play, and I think that starts tomorrow night. All right, quick break here. Week 18 of the NFL on the other side. Let's get into some of these matchups. And I love what our buddy SD Tyler said on YouTube. Some player incentives on the line this weekend. That's going to be heavy in long shots. It's also going to be heavy in game script. So let's get to it. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Holiday Bowl between SMU and Arizona gets going at 5 o'clock tonight. Schaefer will be on the call. You hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, we get the Aztecs at home against Boise State. That game will be at 7. That game will be at 7 here, right here on San Diego Sports 760. The NFL doubleheader tomorrow night. Panthers, Bucks with a shot to win the NFC South, as well as Seahawks and 49ers going for the number 1 seed at 5 o'clock. Seattle open as a 1.5 point favorite. It has been bet up in the last 10 minutes to Seattle minus 2.5. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
minus 2.5. Big deal.
It's just a fact, Ben. I'm reading the facts.
Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, with you till 2 o'clock today. John
Vegas, the Sharps don't believe in your boys.
More like the Doles. That's what I like to call them. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Let's get into week 18 of the NFL season, and we're going to start right there, actually, with the Seahawks and the 49ers. So, Sammy, you did an excellent job laying out the similarities from this year to last year with Sam Darnold. Divisional opponent on the road, final week of the season, fighting for the 1 seed. Obviously, did not go well for Sam Darnold and the Vikings a year ago. We'll see what it is with him on the Seahawks. Now, other interesting fact, we've seen this matchup before. These two teams, the Niners and the Seahawks, back in 2019, were playing with the exact same stakes on the line. And in 2019, San Francisco went on to the Super Bowl where they lost to Sammy's stupid Chiefs.
Who'd they lose to? Yeah.
The Chiefs. But in 2019, you remember how that game ended?
The goal
Final
line
week of
stop.
the regular season. It was Dre Greenlaw at the 1 yard line. Hollister, I think, was the tight end for Seattle. It was a stop at the 1 yard line. Absolute chaos, which was a game I'll never, ever forget. I have a feeling this is going to be a similar sort of situation. Maybe not with all the dramatics of the last second, but I do expect Sam Darnold to learn from what he did a year ago and play well in this game. The Niners offense is playing better than just about anybody in football right now. I expect them to play well in this game too. Kind of the Dirk Darty secret with this, Brock Purdy has really struggled every time he's played against Mike McDonald, whether he was a defensive coordinator or a head coach. I believe he's at 7 interceptions, 6 touchdowns, something like that in his career.
But a lot of that was that Baltimore Christmas game a few years ago.
Right, where he had 4 picks in that game.
Yeah.
Ugly, hideous, terrible football game.
That's when all the Niner fans, I remember vividly going, we want to play the Chiefs. We don't want to play Baltimore. And then we all knew what happened.
We all know what happened. But Brock Purdy is playing some pretty damn good football
He is
right
playing
now.
good football.
But he's also playing like with this recklessness right now. I'm curious to see how he plays this weekend. Even though, like our buddy Rich said, I won't be able to watch most of it. I'm curious to see how he plays this weekend. If he's playing with that same kind of fearlessness where he's slinging the ball all over the yard, or if something with the Mike McDonald defense messes with him.
So I've been on record. I will give your boy Purdy a lot of credit.
Where's your money at in this game, Sammy? I want to know.
I'm debating if you're giving me 2.5 at home for the 49ers,
I like it.
I would probably take the points. And now if you bet the hook, giving 3.5, I would definitely take the Niners. I think if this bounces around before game time. So I'm kind of debating, but I think there's two storylines from both quarterbacks. As you pointed out, the Sam Darnold storyline is obvious. Can he win the big game? He went a long way in proving that wrong with beating the Rams a couple weeks ago on that crazy comeback. But let's not forget, it was a crazy comeback.
Yeah, and if that game was big, this game is easily twice as big.
Twice as big in that game. And I'm not taking anything away from Sam Darnold because I'm a massive Sam Darnold fan. But you had the Shaheed punt return. The Rams were held in the red zone in check by that Seattle defense. There was a lot that went right in that game, which led to an amazing finish. And he deserves all the credit in the world for showing up in the biggest moment. But we established it earlier. Last year, same situation. Goes on the road to Detroit for the 1 seed. Plays terrible. Plays the Rams a playoff game, plays terrible. This is a massive opportunity on the road. You're favored. So what Vegas is telling you is they think that the Seahawks are going to win. How does Seattle manage that pressure against a scrappy 49er defense that isn't as talented because of all the injuries, but they are at home and should play well. On the other side, to your point about Purdy's playing with a reckless abandon, it's one thing to do against Chicago. And it's not taking anything away from Purdy because it was a big time game and he has stepped up over the last month or two, despite the defense being down, and has really elevated the team. The most impressive thing about Brock Purdy on Sunday, Trent Williams going down. That's been the big bugaboo. Every time.
First play of the game.
Every time in his career, Trent Williams hasn't been there. His stats have really taken a hit. And in that game, it didn't. But this Mike McDonald defense is a different beast. So division rival, I think. I don't know where I would bet this game. I would lean on the under. I know that sounds crazy because Darnold and Purdy are playing really well. Both these defenses know the team so well in this game. I think that there's going to be some hesitation early. I would lean on the under in this game. I think it's going to be a very tight, like 2017 kind of game like that.
Man, I think it's going to be chaos. It's going to be a damn good football game. I'll tell you what. Chargers Broncos is not an interesting game because the Chargers are sitting everybody.
See,
but
I don't get this.
The storyline of why the Chargers are benching everybody is important here. So both of these are playoff teams. Denver with a win locks up the 1 seed. They're going to be playing everybody just until I think they get the game kind of locked up, which they're going to win this game. Chargers are sitting Herbert. They're sitting everybody trying to get a little healthier for the postseason. But Sammy, it's interesting because of who the Chargers would be playing in the first round of the playoffs. You want to talk everyone through this?
So let's just say the Chargers played their guys. They're not playing their guys on Sunday, but let's say that they were, and they beat Denver. What would that mean? Likely because the Patriots have a pretty easy game. I believe they're playing Miami, or not Miami. They're playing
Patriots.
The Patriots. I believe they're playing someone pretty chill. But anyway, they would likely get the 1 seed overall.
Yeah, they got Miami.
Okay, they got Miami.
125 Sunday.
Now Miami's been playing pretty good ball recently, but still, they kind of want to lose the game. New England would probably get the 1 seed if the Chargers tried to win the game. That would knock Denver back down into the 2 spot. Now, a lot has been made about if you watch that game against Houston, the 2 best pass rushers left in the playoffs on the AFC side are Denver and Houston. The 2 best. And Houston was all over the Chargers. Now, I will say for the Charger fans, I did think that call and that defensive holding was pretty BS at the end of the game. I would have liked to have seen what would have happened had they been able to get the ball back. But it does feel like them resting their starters, essentially locking themselves into the 7 seed because the Bills are playing the Jets and they're not going to lose that game. And
the Chargers want to play the Patriots.
They want to play the Patriots. They got shellacked by Jacksonville. The Broncos are on paper a bad matchup because of the pass rush of the team. It's funny seeing Harbaugh, and I don't even kill him for this. Like, I kind of get what he's trying to do, almost wanting to be the 7 seed, almost seeing vulnerabilities in the Patriots because of how they play.
I think I'd rather play the Patriots too. If I'm being completely honest, look at what the Patriots have done this year. They've gotten a great record, and you can't take anything away from them. 13-3 is amazing. Probably going to be 14-3. Who've they beaten? They've beaten 2 teams that are in the playoff bracket currently. 2.
Right.
Look around football. If you look at, say what you want about the Eagles this year, they've beaten some good teams this year. Say what you want about
the Eagles only beat good teams. They don't look good doing it, but they beat good teams.
But they beat good teams. Say what you want about people on the AFC. The Texans have huge wins this year. The Texans have made good teams look bad this year. The Jaguars have massive wins this year over the Chiefs when we still thought the Chiefs were going to do something and turn it around. Over the Niners, they made the Niners look irrelevant. So you look at the AFC.
They beat the Broncos and the Chargers.
The Patriots are the team I would want to play too. I think this is actually smart.
I think also if you're whoever gets, this is why the Sunday night game is so interesting because like on the let's take the NFC side for a second. Panthers Bucks. I think whoever comes out of that. Now, the Bucks maybe have a little bit higher upside. I know we kind of both agree on that because they've been there before.
Well, and they finally got Mike Evans back. They look like their original selves that were 6-1 to start the year.
Whoever wins that game as the 4 seed will be underdogs to whether it's the Niners, Seahawks, Rams, like whoever it is. They're going to be projected to lose that game. On the AFC side, you have the Steelers who have a good roster, but I don't think the upside of Pittsburgh people look at as a scary team. I think people would want to play Pittsburgh. The Bills beat Pittsburgh. I believe the Chargers beat Pittsburgh earlier in the year. Don't quote me on that. But the Ravens angle, like if you're the Chargers not trying to win a game, so you're the 7 to get the Patriots, the Chargers, what do the Chargers do well? They have a great secondary. Do the Ravens want to pass the ball? The Ravens want to run it down your throat with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson and company. So I feel like this is kind of chess with Jim Harbaugh, not wanting the Ravens, not wanting the Broncos, not wanting Jacksonville, and taking your chances with a team in the Patriots who, although to your point have a great record, haven't really proven it on the biggest stages yet.
It's going to be fun, man. This week 18, and I heard Colin talking about this earlier about how the NFL wants to expand again and get to 19 weeks. That's fine, but think about the storylines of next week. If this week goes the way we think it's going to go, it would be diminished because more things would be locked up. I think it was honestly perfect a couple years ago when it was still everyone played, was it 16 games?
16
Now
games,
everyone's playing 17 games, and it might be a little more diminished. However, this week 18 is amazing, and we're going to have some fun this weekend. All right, text line is open. We haven't checked it yet today, but if you want to text the show, 70470, start your message with team. Sammy, long shots did not go great over the last couple of days.
It did not.
The official first long shots of 2026 happens next. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Kind of chaos yesterday around San Diego with Mission Valley flooding. Did you see any of those videos, Sammy?
Yeah, it's scary, man. It's always Mission Valley. It's like it just dumps all in there.
Yeah, I used to live there, and I lived actually just up the road from Snapdragon Stadium. But whenever we would get a little bit of rain, there was that area down by the 24-hour fitness down there, right? It's right next to McGregor's and stuff that always floods like crazy. But also the area by Fashion Valley Mall, which was where the big flooding was yesterday, is scary, man, because there's always somebody who tries to drive through it. And every year it takes firefighters and first responders to go out on those little buoys to go rescue people. I saw a video yesterday of, it was right by Fashion Valley Mall, where a guy tried to drive his Jeep through some of the flooding area, and it got stuck almost immediately. And there was like a 3-year-old child in the back seat that had to get rescued. Craziness, but good thing we got first responders, right? And that was a kind of cool moment out of a very scary moment. So thank you to everybody who jumped in there. But Mission Valley, stay safe, man, because the rain's not leaving. It's coming back this weekend in a vengeance. Speaking of coming back this weekend, we're going to need one. We're going to launch this year off on a good note, Sammy Long. Time for long shots on a January 2nd,
on a Friday. Isn't it weird that it's Friday?
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like a Monday more so, but let's hit this Friday off right. Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
SD Tyler, this isn't helpful on YouTube, bragging about his pick that he had over the weekend hitting.
Champagne. Yeah. Tyler and I were talking. Tyler sent me a bunch of good incentives that I will.
Sammy went 1 for 4 this weekend, right?
Shambliss hit. Here's the problem. So
Shambliss was the one I helped out on, but I think it would have hit either way.
Shambliss didn't help you out. You didn't want that.
I said go with the passing plus.
Oh yeah,
rushing.
but it didn't matter. Mine would have hit already.
All right.
I'm just saying before you get all high and mighty.
I'm not trying to get all high and mighty.
I didn't know that Ohio State was going to be able to run the football. Bo Jackson. I didn't know that
the
Dante
true
Moore.
Sammy picks were 0 for 3.
And I didn't know Dante Moore couldn't throw to Kenyon Sadiq, a first-round pick. It's fine. You know what? We're going to let it go.
Where are we going today?
This is all NFL parlay. We're back to the National Football League. All right, we're going to start with Fletch's 49ers. Christian McCaffrey, more than 42.5 receiving yards. I really like this one. Fletch helped out with this pick. I will give him credit on that. And I like this from let's look at the game script. And I know people are looking at bonuses today and what, incentivizing guys get a touchdown, they get a certain amount of money. But let's just look from a game script perspective against Seattle. You've highlighted Brock Purdy's thrown 7 interceptions against a Mike McDonald defense over his career. McCaffrey's the go-to guy. McCaffrey's been in this spot. McDonald is one of the highest pressure rates in the entire league. They blitz left and right. McCaffrey, I think he's going to be getting the ball out of his hand fast, especially this plays into, or Purdy's going to get the ball out of his hands fast to McCaffrey. This really plays also into the bet. If Trent Williams is not playing or if he's not 100% healthy, this whole deep passing attack that we saw against Chicago, we know is there, but Chicago's defense really relies on turnovers, takeaways, not a fundamental unit. Seattle's a fundamental unit. I think McCaffrey's a big part of this game. We're going to stay away from rushing. I think more than 42.5 receiving yards for C-Mac.
He's also at 890 on the season, which means he needs 110 to get to that 1,000-yard mark for the regular season, which would make him the only player in NFL history to have 1,000-yard rushing and receiving season twice in his career.
Oh, okay.
110 yards away from that.
All right, so Shanahan's going to get in that.
Shanahan wants it. He wants that to be under his resume as a coach, and McCaffrey has talked openly about wanting to be the first person to do it twice.
We're moving lines here in San Diego because it just went up to 46.5. That's what we're doing. The other thing, though, Emeka Egbuka, so we're going to start Tampa Bay, Carolina. This is a hard game to look at because Tampa Bay hasn't looked good. Like, they haven't looked good the last month. They lost to Miami. That was kind of a game that everyone thought they were going to win. I do think Tampa Bay gets right in this game. I think the fact that the Panthers haven't really been in the spot, I know there's more pressure on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but at the end of the day, this was a team the first month of the season that we looked at as a potential player in the NFC, and they just have been hit with so many injuries between Mike Evans and Chris Godwin throughout the season. Emeka Egbuka, we're going with the rookie out of Ohio State, more than 24.5 receiving yards. Carolina's secondary is not great. That's not really their calling card of the team. It's really Dowdle, Bryce Young, Leggett, the offense, Ted McMillan. I think that this is going to be a higher scoring game. Egbuka is the third receiver now with Godwin and Mike Evans back.
Yeah, he's really like the 2.
He's really the 2 because he's really kind of past Godwin at this point. But they're going to be game planning for Mike Evans. I promise you this. They are not, Dave Canales, they are not going to let Mike Evans beat them. He might have some big moments in this game, But if you're that's the first guy you're going to look at on this chart. I think Baker Mayfield hits Egbuka over some quick slants over the middle when they're kind of taking Godwin and Evans. They're going to take the defense out of the play. Egbuka, I really like this value here with the number 24.5 receiving yards. We're going more than. All right, then we're going Sunday Night Football, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I got 2 picks for us. Kenneth Gainwell, more than 30.5 rushing yards. This is going to be a low scoring game in the sense I think the first half. Pittsburgh perspective. So they don't have DK Metcalf. Darnell Washington, the tight end out of Georgia, the rookie, just got hurt. He broke his arm, and literally the last series of the game last week against Cleveland, they don't have anyone to throw to. Adam Thielen and MVS are the 2 guys that Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing the ball to. This has to, at home, TJ Watt is going to play. The game plan for the Steelers has to be get a lead, run the football, and let the pass rush, which has been suspect at times this year, kind of turn back the clock a little bit with Highsmith and Watt and Cam Hayward and get after Lamar in this game. Kenneth Gainwell, more than 30.5 rush yards. This is going to be a heavy dose of the run game. I don't trust any receiving weapons from Pittsburgh. And the fact that Aaron Rodgers is not mobile anymore, I just think they're going to have to set up the play action to get some deep shots down the field, despite the Ravens defense being hurt. Kenneth Gainwell has been more juiced than Jalen Warren recently. More than 30.5 rush yards for Kenneth Gainwell. And then on the other side, I think this is a Lamar legacy game. This is a big game for Lamar Jackson. We talk about Josh Allen not getting it done in the postseason, and I've highlighted that many times, him not winning a road playoff game. But to be fair to him, Lamar has had the same kind of thing. And I will say, in fairness to Lamar, I don't think Lamar has had the weapons that Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen have had throughout his career. I really think that they have done a poor job of getting him receiving targets. They've kind of had a lot of scraps. DeAndre Hopkins, veteran guys. Rashad Bateman was kind of supposed to be the guy when drafted a few years ago. He never really panned out, and Zay Flowers is kind of he hasn't really panned out either. Neither has Marquise Brown. But in this game, Lamar Jackson, we haven't seen it a lot this year because he's been hurt at times. More than 25.5 rush yards. I think the fact that the Steelers defense, despite them not ranking well in terms of metrically this year, I do think they're going to have a good game. Lamar, this is a huge game for Lamar's legacy. Talking about John Harbaugh maybe pissed at him per reports. Apparently, there was a report that he fell asleep in a team meeting, and the team was pissed about it.
That was weird.
There's some weird stuff.
He came out and said that never happened.
Yeah, and he had to answer it, which was odd. And it's a weird situation.
People also saying that he's been playing video games till 1 a.m. He said, "I don't even do that during the summer."
Like it's a weird situation in Baltimore right now. But I do think we're forgetting a little bit about Lamar Jackson's talent. I think the first couple months of the season, we've kind of forgotten how good this guy is. I think they just have more weapons offensively with him and Derrick Henry. And why I like Lamar more than 25.5 rushing yards, Derrick Henry was unbelievable last week against Green Bay. He also had like 35 carries. And on a quick turnaround, 1 week later, I think Derrick Henry is going to be a big part of the game plan. A lot of read option with Lamar. I think he breaks this late and hits it. So, to recap, Emeka Egbuka, more than 24.5 receiving yards for Tampa Bay. Christian McCaffrey, more than 46.5 receiving yards now. The line went up. Kenneth Gainwell, running back for Pittsburgh, more than 30.5 rush yards. And Lamar Jackson, more than 25.5 rush yards. Gets it done for Baltimore.
I think Ricky Pearsall's number was in the 40s also. If you want to take the more than on that feels like an easy catch.
We can't just keep doing homer picks.
I'm just saying.
You got after me for doing Laker picks. We can't just do all overs.
Technically, the YouTube chat got after you for that.
Well, just saying. First off, we can't do multiple overs on the Niners. I think this is a low-scoring game.
I already did it, so.
You added Pearsall?
You do whatever you want, but I
Pearsall's never healthy.
Pearsall is healthy right now, so Pearsall is going to go off in this game. You're forgetting that the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl this year, Sammy.
I think you're a little jaded by your fandom, and I really think
for sure.
Okay, so this point total is at 47.5. I think that's way too high.
Smash the over.
No, because here's why. People are
Niners are going to get that by themselves.
People are overreacting to the Bears game. The Bears defense is not very good.
The Bears game, the Colts game.
Okay, are the Colts having anything on offense?
No, but defensively they've been pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is a low-scoring game. I think this game is 2017.
Smash the over. 45. 28.
So, the one thing with my team being out, it really bums me out. Just like going forward, there's not a lot to look forward to just in life in general. But the one thing about it is I don't have to hear. I've heard to hear from Fletch and everyone for months about the Chiefs suck. Oh, no.
You smell that, Sammy?
You know what's the best is that
smells like winning.
I really hope for you that the Niners go win it this year. because he's coming back, and it's almost like it would be fun. It would be fun if it was the Bills-Niners, like the consolation prize. It's like whoever couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes gets to go to the Super Bowl in the 1 year he's not there.
Hang on. I have a quote from Sammy Long not 2 weeks ago. I wrote it down so I don't forget it. Quote, if Brock Purdy beats Josh Allen in the Super Bowl, I will buy and wear a Purdy jersey.
Oh, I'll be pulling for your Niners if they play the Bills in the Super Bowl.
You said you will buy and wear a Purdy jersey.
No, I never said that.
You did say that. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. This was a couple weeks ago.
You can buy it.
No, you said you will buy and wear a Purdy jersey.
That was all in good fun.
YouTube chat, help me out here. Sammy said it.
I would never give money. First off, I'm not gonna have to worry about this because that's just not gonna happen. But I would never give money to the San Francisco 49ers organization.
I will buy it. You just have to wear it.
It's just like
for a full show.
I'm not wearing a Brock Purdy.
If he beats Josh Allen in the Super Bowl,
I said this: if he is playing the Chargers, Broncos, or Bills, I will be pulling for your boys in the Super Bowl.
Tyler says, I thought that bet was with Stan. I do have a bet going with Stan for tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, I want you to be held accountable to that.
I do. I'm accountable. Stan will come on our show, and either way, he's going to come in studio. Either way,
Sam the man.
Either I'm wearing some Seattle crap or he's wearing some 49er gold.
Who's your real quick? Who's your least favorite team in the division?
Seahawks.
Okay, and then what? Then Rams and then Cardinals, or Cardinals?
Cardinals are irrelevant. I actually kind of like the Cardinals. They're that cute little team over there in Arizona. Nice little 2 wins on the bingo board every single year.
Badly. You know what's the best is that on the broadcast tomorrow night, you're going to hear Fletch if they're losing, and it's just he's going to be trying to keep his energy up, and it's just going to be
Sammy. I'm a professional. Okay, I'm a professional. I get paid to do a job. I do the job.
You're going to be insufferable if they go to the Super Bowl. Oh my God, I can't even fathom that.
And rich, you're forgetting insufferable and rich.
I don't care about your bank account
and money. Speaking of that Indiana game yesterday, Indiana, Alabama, I was watching it at Valley View Casino.
Yeah.
Big ass TV out at their little bar in there. Went to Patties and Pints, had a few brews, had a burger. Yeah. That's a cool spot, man. Valley View Casino. They're going to be a friend of the show coming up starting next week, actually. So shout out to Valley View.
Shout out to Valley View. Yeah, we've had some fun nights at Valley View.
About January 30th, you want to get some cash and more cash? They're giving away $35,000 on January 30th, Sammy. We can go up to Valley View.
I'm always down to go up to. Hey, if someone has a casino, I'm there.
Let's go party up.
What are the minimums over there?
For $15 for blackjack.
That's
I was
beautiful.
Playing yesterday. That was nice.
Some casinos locally are 25, and it's very frustrating.
I saw a table that was $10, but I was like, "Oh, that is so 2015."
That's for the other people.
Yeah, it's Gen Pop,
not the high Gen Pop. That's for the non-high rollers.
But then, I immediately got my ass kicked when I went to the $15 table. But Valley View, great spot.
Real high rollers, $15 mins.
Sure, dude. Hey, that is kind of high rolling, Sammy. It's a lot of money.
No, I play at you can tell how much money I have because I'm asking what the minimums are. Guys who have a bunch of money are like, take me the high limit tables.
Dude, I swear to God, when we were in Vegas, I was at a roulette table with my buddies. I don't remember where you went, but you were somewhere. And
I lost money early and I had to save money for the rest of the trip. So you guys kept gambling.
This guy walks up to the table and he's wearing a veteran hat. So we all immediately stand up and say, you can have our seat if you want. He sits down and pulls out just a handful of chips out of his pocket, like loose chips in his pocket, and starts just throwing them out on the table.
Yeah.
And then I look closer. They were $100 chips, Sammy.
Yeah, dude.
He was just peppering the table.
Scare money, don't make money. That's
like,
the motto of this show in 2026.
Me and my buddy Brian over here with our little stack of $1 chips trying to figure out how do we get the table minimum out there. I think it was like $15-20, something like that.
Isn't it funny when that happens, when someone's betting real money at the table and you're in I'm doing your minimum bets and people.
Yeah. This dude threw out, it had to be $1,500. Had to be.
Before we go to break, and then we're late here.
Lost all of it.
I had that happen. So we all bet a UFC fight a couple months ago, and all of us who were aren't maybe don't have a problem threw $20 to $30 on the fight. My friend is puts his head in his hands, and he's he gets real quiet. I'm sitting on my couch, and everyone's like, dude, it's okay. We just lost $20, $30. He goes, I put 700 on that.
My God.
I go 700 on a last minute underdog money line. I go, that's a little concerning.
That is puke worthy is
but
what
then
that
he
is.
made it all back on Alex Pereira, so everything was fine.
Dude, bet on Pereira. That's usually pretty safe. All right, we're going to take a break here. Hour number 2 is coming up next. Do we have Steve Hartman in hour number 2?
Of course. The GOAT's not going to miss an appearance.
Of course we have Steve Hartman in hour number 2. Let's get crazy coming up next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This was sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Holiday Bowl tonight. Arizona and SMU going live at 5 o'clock. We hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. John Schaefer will be on the call. Tomorrow night, got Boise State coming to San Diego to take on the Aztecs at Viejas Arena. That game will be at 7 o'clock. Fletch, you get you on the pregame starting at 6 with Schaefer on at 7. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Welcome to the Flex Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Where are we going in sports?
Sound off like you got a pair.
Lot of ground to cover today. Some interesting stuff from the college football playoff.
It's revenge and satisfaction. 24-14 winners over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Miami to the Final Four.
This one is finally over. And Ole Miss wins 39-34.
Take that, Lane.
3rd and 1, looking to throw. Launching to the end zone. Surrounds out there. Touchdown Hoosiers. Pouring it on.
And the final weekend of the NFL season.
Let's get to work and let's go try to play our best game. Try to coach our best game.
We'll get you ready with all of the scenarios. And Arizona and SMU meet up in the Holiday Bowl tonight.
Let's go! Let's football!
Now we kick off 2026 from the San Diego Sports 760 studios inside the Fletch Zone.
Day number 2 of 2026. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you. If it's your first time trying us out here in the new year, stick with us. We got 365 days of pure gold coming at you over the next annual calendar. How about that? Quick story. My favorite memory so far of 2026. It's only been 2 days, but we had some people over, Sammy, for New Year's Eve, and we were watching the ball drop, doing all the things. And you know, it's kind of funny. Once it starts getting close, it's like 11:55. All of a sudden, the room starts to change, and people start to get closer to their significant other. Because if your significant other is like my significant other, at 12 o'clock, she wants that kiss to happen at 12 o'clock.
For Instagram, or because she actually wants to kiss you?
I don't think she actually wants to kiss me, but I do think it's like ritual. For the last 10 years now, every New Year's Eve, it's been a smooch right at 11:59 seconds.
So, I think I know where you're going.
So the whole room is starting to move around and people start to couple up a little bit. Now, one person who was at our New Year's Eve party was Stag. She was solo. She's single. And she obviously looked a little bit lost in that moment.
That's where, when I wasn't invited, I was ready, dude.
Sammy, you would have had the moment of your lifetime. Let me tell you what. However, she all of a sudden makes direct eye contact.
Oh, no, don't say it.
With my dog.
No,
with my dog, Sammy.
No.
And it's like she kind of like looked at us for permission. She was like, "Is it okay if your dog is my New Year's Eve kiss?" And I was like, "Absolutely," but he uses tongue, so watch out. I said those words, and right at midnight, I find my wife. We have a nice little kiss. And then I look to the couch and my dog is going at it, dude. Full tongue. And this poor girl, she did not know what she was asking for. Like, she went in for a cute little, smooch the dog. And my dog went for it.
What is going on at your house?
Never been more proud of him in my life.
Someone call animal control.
Dude, he went for it. When I talk about full-on French makeout sesh, that's what my dog was going for. The girl looked grossed out. I feel pretty bad about it. But funny moment.
Okay.
Did you have a nice little New Year's kiss with your dog, Sammy?
Oh yeah. That was great. You know what I love about Ben Fletcher is that, so we're like, I had to go to the bathroom in the 5 minutes of the break between the last segment and this one. And I thought we were going to open up the hour talking about the NFL or college football or the Holiday Bowl. So a lot going on. And all of a sudden, a story about Fletch having someone assault his dog on New Year's Eve.
I'll be honest, my dog was doing the assaulting. It was not the other way around. But fun moment in 2026.
That is wow.
Did you make it to midnight?
615 says, well, now we know why she's single.
Not the worst take you've ever had, 615.
I go, what is she into? That's crazy.
I don't think, look, she got no pleasure out of this. I promise you that. But
she initiated it. She
for sure initiated it, but my dog took full advantage. He jumped right in there. Anyways, that was my New Year's Eve.
The Fletcher household, man, that is.
Did you make it to midnight, Sammy?
So I actually have a confession to make. I didn't.
Wow.
I have every year. I wasn't feeling very well on New Year's Eve, unfortunately. So I stayed home. I didn't go have some drinks with my boys, and I
got shit drunk too early. Classic Sammy Long. Was wasted by 5 o'clock. You got to pace yourself, Sammy. I've been telling you this for years. You got to pace yourself on these big nights.
949 said partying with Fletch sounds like a Diddy party.
No, I rebuked that. That's not at all what was going down. No.
It kind of sounds like it.
Not even a little bit.
So how many people were at your party?
It was like, by that point in the night, it really dwindled down. There was probably 10, 15 people at the house.
10. I can't get over that. All right, so hold on. So just before we get to sports,
the story was the story. It's over. That's what happened.
But like, were other people like, they're like with their partner and then they're like looking over like, yo, like, you ever seen that scene in, actually, never mind.
Sam was about to bring up a porno. Caught him red-handed, everybody. All right, but seriously, the Holiday Bowl is tonight at Snapdragon Stadium.
Hey guys, go to the Holiday Bowl and listen, if you see anyone making out with a dog, please call 911 because the dog did not consent to that.
And it's San Diego Sports 760, which is where you're going to hear the broadcast of the Holiday Bowl. Sammy, serious stuff. Can we be a little more professional, please?
You know what I love is that someone in their car just tuned in at that moment and heard me say, if you see someone at the Holiday Bowl making out with a dog, please,
and now you said it again.
Please, well, there's more people tuning in the last 20 seconds. Please call 911 because that dog, that is not okay. What Ben Fletcher is saying that happened in the confines of his new house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy story for the radio.
Sure. It's just something that happened in my life, Sammy. I'm trying to be personal.
Was it the craziest thing that happened that night?
Yeah, I mean, we had a game of code names that got pretty wild.
A game of code. What is
you ever
that?
Played code names?
No.
It's a board game. It's a party game. It's fantastic. It's not a drinking game, but it's like a game when you have a lot of people around. It's so much fun. We should play it sometime. But
sounds like, I don't know if going over to your house is the right thing. Like, am I going to be able to leave? I don't know what's going to happen.
You've hung out with Brock the dog.
Yeah,
he's a kisser.
I've watched Brock all night, and you know what I didn't do is kiss him. Okay, I sat there.
He
I
would kiss
fed
you
him
back hard, Sammy. He would. All right, let's get to some sports here. Big three, hour number 2. Sammy, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers. It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Text line is open, by the way. 70470.
The text line's chiming in on this right now.
Start your message with the word team. What is this? Bo Bello 2001 on YouTube says, tell the Dodgers to let other teams win. Yeah, we should tell the Dodgers to let other teams win.
I don't think the Dodgers are going to listen, but it's a great thought. It's a fun thought experiment.
Yeah, that'd be nice. San Diego State tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Pregame show starts at 6. Listen here on San Diego Sports 760. Sammy, where are we going?
I had a whole big three prepared, and now I'm just all flustered.
Go ahead, rip the big three.
Okay,
I want to hear it.
We're going to start with college football.
People are relying on this. This is water cooler talk, Sammy. We're providing a service to the people of San Diego to have something to go into their office next door and say,
I think she was providing a service to that dog. It sounds like.
If anything, I'm telling you, it was the other way around. The dog was the aggressor.
Guys, this is a sports show. Everyone, please calm down. Unbelievable. Okay, so in the college football playoff, teams with a bye in the first round are 1-7 over the last 2 years. The only win being Indiana, drubbing. Sorry, the text line. Indiana drubbing Alabama. What is your reaction to the schedule of the college football playoff? The fact that they take multiple weeks off in between. How do they fix this? The transfer portal opens today, and there's still 3 games to be played in the college football playoff. Like it's kind of a crazy schedule that college football has.
You ready for me to fix this thing? I'm going to fix it. The Ben Fletcher stamp of approval. Conference championships happen. Conference championships happen.
Yep.
The next week is the first round of the college
100%.
football playoff.
100%.
The next week is the first round of the college football playoff. And guess what? National championship would have been yesterday. Make the national championship New Year's Eve. Boom, bang, bing. Transfer portal opens on the 2nd. Everything is fixed. There you go, world. You're welcome. Because the New Year's 6 thing is cool, right? But
it is cool.
Why don't we make the New Year's 6 5 games in the national championship is the finale? The national championship happens at 5 o'clock yesterday after we've seen 5 games take place in the early part of the morning. That way, the Rose Bowl is its own thing. That way, you have 4 fun games or 5 fun games in the morning that we can all bet on and we can all laugh about, and it all leads you up to a national championship evening that is totally standalone, all by itself. Boom, college football takes New Year's Day.
I think I completely agree with you. It's the time off in between is crazy, and especially when the NFL can schedule a game. I heard them say this on ESPN. The NFL could schedule a game in the Sahara Desert at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and people would watch.
Hell yeah, brother!
Because
we got $20 on that game.
It's the NFL. It's whatever you want to say. Whether whatever your favorite league is, nothing. The NBA, MLB, college football, college basketball, nothing comes close. The NFL is king. But when you're trying to build momentum, and I dig college football playoff. I think a lot of people do dig college football. It does seem like you have all this momentum in conference championship weekend, and which is a fun weekend, and then you just have weeks off. And the narrative around that for years was, well, they have finals. Guys have finals, and they're not getting paid at the time. Exactly.
They're pros.
Carson Beck is making $4 million a year driving around a Lambo, quarterback for Miami. The guys who are playing in the college football playoff, a majority of them are making money. This is ridiculous. The national championship should have been yesterday because the national championship's on January 19th. Like this 17 days from now.
in the middle of the NFL playoffs.
In the middle, in right after divisional round weekend. Like what are we doing here with the schedule? I don't like it. And Dan Lanning said something from Oregon I also want to say. Can we just make
a psychopath?
He is, but
the eye contact he makes with the camera, Sammy, he's breaking the fourth wall.
He is a little bit.
It's scary.
Can the Rose Bowl be the national championship game every year? Like, it's the best venue in college football.
Sure.
It's not even close. And you don't have to, I know it was raining yesterday, but you don't normally have to worry about weather.
I mean, I don't think it's the best venue in college football.
What's a better venue in college football?
There's a lot. Dude, Alabama has a ridiculous venue.
You would rather have the national championship in Tuscaloosa than Los Angeles, California.
I disagree wholeheartedly that it should be the Rose Bowl every single year.
Okay, literally name me a better college football venue than the Rose Bowl.
The Swamp is great in Florida. Ohio State, the Shoe is great. Happy Valley is great. Now, I get it. This time of year, there's some complications.
We're going to schedule a snowstorm, national championship game.
But I'm saying it's to say that the Rose Bowl is the best venue in all college football. I don't know that that's accurate.
I think it's 100% accurate. This is coming from a USC fan. The Rose Bowl is the best venue in college football.
What was the next story, Sam?
Okay. Let's go to the NFL. So what potential 4 seed? Let's rank them. So the potential 4 seeds in the NFL playoffs would be the Steelers, Ravens, Panthers, or Bucks. Rank them in terms of most dangerous to least dangerous in the NFL playoffs.
Ravens number 1 because of the quarterback Lamar Jackson. If he can find some time to get a little healthy here over the next couple of weeks, which I don't know if he will, but Ravens are 1, Bucks are 2 because of Baker Mayfield and playoff Baker. Although I don't think he's going to be the 4 seed. It would take a few things. Atlanta has to lose and the Bucks have to win. Steelers 3, Panthers 4. Unfortunately for the Panthers, it's not there yet. They're moving in the right direction. Bryce Young has shown a lot of fun this year. He's shown the ability to win in big games and play well in big games. However, I think they are still 1 year, maybe 2 years away from being like an actual competitor if things stay on the same track. Steelers have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Look, if he's in the playoffs, it's a fun storyline at the very least. I don't know if it works well. I think there's lots of holes on the Steelers. But if they're in the postseason, you give them a chance because of Aaron Rodgers. So what did I say? Ravens 1, Bucks 2, Steelers 3, Panthers 4. I feel pretty good about that.
I'm going to flip the Steelers and the Bucks.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to flip that for you. I think both AFC teams are better than both NFC teams. I think we see with the Panthers, it's a fun story. It's cool seeing Bryce Young resurrect his career. But at the end of the day, does anyone really believe that the Panthers are going to beat anyone in the NFC playoffs? I don't think so. Tampa Bay, I guess I could see it, but I
think both teams have a shot against the Packers.
No, I don't. I think that was actually going to be my next story, but we'll get to that in a second. I think people are a little too harsh on the Packers right now. Like, I get no Micah Parsons there, but Jordan Love has been playing really good football. Christian Watson's going to be there. Josh Jacobs has been running the ball at an excellent clip this year. The defense was good anyway heading into the year without Micah Parsons. Signing Trayvon Diggs, I actually think that team, the Packers...
I forgot about the stupid Diggs move. That makes me so mad still.
The Packers, though, went from... Early this year, after they went 2-0, they're like the favorite. They are the team that everyone's trying to beat, and they're going to have a lot of pressure for Jordan Love to prove it, to complete flip. Now, no one's talking about them, despite the fact that if you would have said someone a month ago before the Micah Parsons injury, that a lot of people would have picked the Packers, I think, to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I don't think that was a crazy take. They could have some fun going on the road there. But in terms of ranking them, I think Ravens 1. I agree with you. I think the Lamar Jackson and the fact that it's the AFC, there's not a dominant team. That's why I have the Steelers at 2. Although, do I see the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers winning multiple games to get to a Super Bowl? No, but they did find something with DK Metcalf at receiver kind of down the stretch there. And the defense, although it doesn't make sense why they're not like, quote, good, but they should be much better than they are. They do have a great pass rush. It's just the AFC playoffs, we keep going back to this. I've never seen a playoff field where there's not a team I trust.
Yeah, this was such a flip in the narrative. The AFC for the last decade has been better than the NFC, and it's been obvious heading into the postseason. And there's been some real powerhouses in the AFC, and that's just not the case.
Real quick, who do you trust the most in the AFC?
Honestly, right now, Buffalo. Which sounds crazy.
Just because they've been there before.
Yeah, but Buffalo's defense is totally gettable by anybody in the AFC. But is Drake May going to step up to the plate in the postseason? I don't know. We haven't seen it before.
Is Bo Nix going to step up to the plate?
That's the bigger question, and my answer is no on that one too.
It feels crazy to me.
Are the Chargers going to choke one away like they have their entire history as a franchise?
If the Chargers had an offensive line, I think they would be the favorite.
They might be.
Don't.
If Joel and Rashawn Slater are both playing, which obviously they're not, they might be the favorite to win the AFC championship.
The craziest thing, going back to like the Packers, who have no pressure on them because of the Micah Parsons injury, I've never seen a team in the Jacksonville Jaguars who has less pressure on them, but has been really good. They've beaten the Chargers. they've beaten the Broncos. They've beaten, I mean, the Chiefs weren't good this year, but at the time, we thought they were good. The Niners.
They only got 4 losses on the season.
They've beaten all these good teams, and I haven't heard a single person pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to go to the playoff to go to the Super Bowl.
Year one with a head coach is a hell of a drug for an organization. Because year one with Liam Cohen, when they've had is this the 3rd coach of Trevor Lawrence's career? And this is the first time it's looked like it's actually going to work.
Yeah.
4th coach. Doug Peterson was there for a little bit.
But like Vrabel's first year head coach of the team. Sean Payton's year 2.
Yeah, but the Patriots are pressured because of the Patriots, and I honestly put 0 pressure on the Patriots. Like, if they get a win in the postseason, this was a hell of a year for the New England Patriots.
You think they can lose to the Texans in round 1 and you call it a success?
Yeah, dude, the Texans defense is unreal.
I think though,
if they lose to the Texans, it's going to be because CJ Stroud had the best game of his season.
I think though, like if you're looking at Denver versus them, Denver is more pressure because the Chargers offensive line will be healthy next year and the Chiefs will be back. And then hell, look at not that the Raiders are going to be a threat, but if they get the number 1 overall pick, they all of a sudden there's a new quarterback in the division. Yeah. So this could be the best chance
for the
Denver.
Chiefs. Oof.
Yeah, because the Chiefs aren't going to do it. The Chiefs are going to be just fine next year.
If they miss the playoffs next year, are you on the Andy Reid firing bandwagon?
Why would we fast forward a year?
So
he misses 1 year and let's fire Andy Reid. That is the most idiotic take
they should.
I have ever heard.
I think he should be back next year. But if they miss the playoffs
they miss the playoffs, let's cut the whole team. Everyone's awful. That's just it's a stupid take.
It's San Diego.
Hey, be better, Fletch.
How much fun is it to poke Sammy? It's San Diego Sports 760.
You want to poke me?
That's a quick break here. And we'll see if Andy Reid's fired by the time we get back. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeart Radio app. We're having fun on a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. First Friday of 2026. Time to get weird. Am I right? It's San Diego Sports 760. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We're taking care of you till 2 o'clock today. And we got Holiday Bowl at 5 o'clock tonight right here on San Diego Sports 760. John Schaefer, Rich Ornberger on the call. Funny, Rich has been working hard during this little Christmas time area. He was in New Mexico calling the bowl game. He's working tonight as well for the Holiday Bowl.
Wait, are you going to the game tonight?
I don't think so. That's still a little up in the air. There's a chance I'm going, chance I'm not. I got family in town, so it's going to kind of depend on whether or not Mama Fletch says, yeah, let's go to a football game tonight.
Yeah, she's like, I got to do sports all weekend. I got to hear you. Who in your family is the biggest Niner fan? You?
Me.
And then are they like legit fans? Or are they like, oh, we like to watch the Niner game?
No. So my pops is, yeah. Like I had a Niner sleeping bag when I was a child. Like that's my pops is, but he like took a break from the Niners during the Harbaugh era. And now he's slowly gotten back in. He really just took a little bit of a break. But my brother he likes going to the games. He probably goes to more than any of us because of his location. But yeah, I'm definitely the biggest. I'm the one who gets mentally ill because of the 49ers.
Yeah.
It's my grandpa's fault. He was the one who got me into it right away.
Hey, it's the best. Nothing like having a sports team.
But my grandpa was like a huge Montana Young fan. And then like when Alex Smith came around, my entire family was like, this guy sucks. And I was like, he's going to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't rip Alex. Alex Smith was an OG.
They all hated on Alex Smith. They did not like him.
All I know is if Alex Smith starts that Super Bowl, you all win.
Thank you. I've said it for years. If he doesn't get concussed that year, but when they don't get to the Super Bowl without Colin Kaepernick's like 250 yards.
It's not even a shot to Kaepernick. It's just in that game, Smith would have been better against that defense.
Dude, there was a run there where the Niners were so damn good and they kept losing in the postseason in the weirdest way. Do you remember the muffed punt against the Giants?
I do remember that play.
Goodness gracious. I think his name was Ryan Williams. I think that's who it was who muffed the punt. Oh, I'm not okay, Sammy, if you could tell. But they can go a long way to cure that this year because I got money.
So wait, hold on. Serious question. This is not fandom, Fletch. I want to ask you your honest opinion because I know you go Super Bowl, all that nonsense.
I've been saying it all year. Never had a doubt.
Does the Niners going to the Super Bowl rest on them winning this game tomorrow night?
I think a lot, about 90% of it. Yeah, 90% of it. I would say does. I think they go from being more likely than not in the Super Bowl to damn, it's going to take some really good games.
Who's your biggest threat?
The Rams have the best roster. The Seahawks are going to be tough for some reason. I always panic when the 49ers play against the Eagles. Maybe it's because they take cheap shots at the elbow of our quarterback every time they play against the Eagles. So yeah, that's
Philly's so interesting because you just sit there and look at Philly like
their defense is unreal. Jalen Carter, when he's playing, it's crazy. If you look at the Eagles this year in games that Jalen Carter's playing in, it's like their opponents have not scored more than 20 points.
Well, in for all the nonsense, there's every reason to not pick them. Like the Eagles have given you every reason for why you should not believe in them, and yet there they are, and they're hosting a home playoff game as a 3 seed.
And there's a Jalen Hurts 450-yard passing performance coming soon.
Because would anyone be shocked if the Eagles go into the playoffs and let's say they host anyone, the Packers, the Rams, the Niners, Seahawks, and the offense gets right? They have all the pieces. You know that they're there. You saw them do it against the Chiefs last year. So is it the same team? Is the Saquon, the kind of, quick hitting running, the like, honestly, like, I'd never seen a rushing attack that was more dangerous, like that you were more scared of them running the ball last year than you were passing the ball. It just feels like you have to take them out. Kind of feels like that way with the Bills. The Bills roster is not there, but then are we going to be picking Josh Allen in every game?
The Bills just don't have a defense right now. It feels like you could score 35 on them pretty easily, which is what should make you terrified if you're a Bills fan. Are you relying on Josh Allen and James Cook to put up 40 points in every single playoff game? Because that might be what it takes.
If we know that Josh Allen is the most pressure of anyone in the postseason, let's go Herbert and Lamar. Let's say Lamar makes it.
Lamar, automatically.
Lamar gets crushed more than Herbert.
For sure.
Because Herbert's been awful in the postseason.
Lamar has the expectations because the Ravens have been there every single year and haven't been able to get all the way there, right? Lamar has the expectations because he's been so close so many times. Herbert, if he gets past the first round, everybody's like, "Oh, congratulations!"
But if he loses in the first round, at what point for Herbert?
This year,
you lose to Jacksonville.
This year,
you lose to Houston last year. Played bad in that game.
His name starts to get dragged this year if they lose in the first round.
Like it can't always. It's like Josh Allen. It can't always be someone else's fault.
Right.
The coach,
the
offensive
injuries
line,
are the
receivers.
excuse for the Chargers, and it's a valid excuse. But eventually, excuses run out. It's like, okay, the quarterback has to be the one to get it done. It's time to be Superman a little bit. And we've seen glimpses of Herbert.
I think he can do it.
This year against Philly, he was hurt. He had a cast on his freaking hand, and he was still running. He ran for like 65 yards in that game. But at some point, it's going to have to be, you just got to get it done. And I think we've seen Josh Allen just get it done in the postseason before, just not against the Chiefs.
When?
Against they beat the Ravens last year. Crazy game.
Okay,
Mark Andrews
had
did
2
drop
interceptions in that game, and Mark Andrews dropped it.
I'd say
twice.
I know you roll your eyes at this. But he played amazing against the Chiefs. He's done that twice
in 2 games. In the last 2, he was not very good. He choked moments away. Do I need to run through?
No, you don't need to run through anything. But I am saying, like, we've seen performances from Josh Allen in the playoffs, even though they result in a loss sometimes, where he's played really, really well.
Yes, the overtime game that they never got the ball back, I will give you credit. Josh Allen played. He left the field with the lead.
God, that was a great game.
Kill Josh Allen for that. But last year in the AFC Championship game, 3:37 left on the clock, 3 timeouts. The defense holds
he
the
got
Chiefs at
the
3.
first down. He got
no.
the
We're
first
talking
down.
about the end of the game. 12-yard rush, incompletion, 5-yard pass, incomplete pass. At home 2 years ago against the Chiefs in the postseason, he misses Stephon Diggs on a 3rd and 9, which leads to the kick being missed. He loses to Joe Burrow. I don't think we can say Josh Allen's got done in the postseason. He's 0-5 against Mahomes and Burrow.
But he has played well in postseason.
Well, let's give him a consolation prize then. That's what we should do. Everyone gets a trophy, right, Fletch?
No, one team gets a trophy each and every single year. You know that. And just because your team's not in it for the trophy this year doesn't mean you get to be mean.
I want consistency. I want people to hold Josh
Steve
Allen
Hartman
accountable.
And we have gone way past everything, and Steve Hartman is coming up next, and he probably has lots of thoughts on Andy Reid as well, Sammy. San Diego Sports 760, Hartman on the other side. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. 5 o'clock tonight, Holiday Bowl gets going live from Snapdragon. SMU and Arizona will be in the game. Arizona is currently a 3-point favorite in that one. San Diego State taking on Boise State live from Viejas tomorrow night. That game will be at 7 o'clock with Schaefer on the call. Fletch will get you pregame starting at 6. Got issues with youth or high school sports, Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Happy New Year, everybody. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. And right now, like we are every single Friday at 1:30, we are joined by the legend himself, Steve Hartman. Hi, Steve. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, boys. How are you? 2026. Wow. That's I'll give you a hint, guys. Coming up later this year, I got my 50-year high school reunion.
Woof.
50 year.
So what does that mean? I'm trying to do math right now. If you were 18 when you graduated high school, math is hard.
Steve, are you the biggest celebrity from your school?
Yeah, 1976. Well, understand this. So, as you know, coming up on the 4th of July, my birthday, we're celebrating our 250th birthday as a country. My 18th birthday, the year I graduated high school, was the bicentennial back in 1976. Great year. Great year.
Great year. Now, Steve, Sammy asked a good question there. I don't know if you heard it or not, but are you the most famous person out of your high school graduating class?
I'm not even. No, I'm not. In fact, there are 3 people that graduated in my class at Taft High School that I dare say are more famous. One of them, he might argue, Craig Buck was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in volleyball. He won 2 gold medals, was a superstar at Pepperdine. Jane Weedland of the Go-Go's, who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who I've known since I was 11 years old. And then a guy named Jeff Fisher, NFL coach for over 20 years. Those are just people in my high school class.
Yeah, but he wasn't a good NFL head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with Steve Hartman being the most famous.
Wow. Okay, well, I know on somebody, I don't know how it ended up, but on Wikipedia, they have like notable alumni from my high school. And my name, it's alphabetical. My name's on that list right above Ice Cube. Because Ice Cube and Eazy-E from NWA were both bust from Compton and attended high school at Taft High School.
Wow.
So the answer is no. Steve Hartman is not the most famous.
So no.
No, not from my high school. A lot of famous people from my high school.
Isn't there another Steve Hartman that works in TV or something?
Yes. So this is a long story short. Steve Hartman works for CBS Network. He does these, behind the scenes little features, like everyone has a story. That's basically been his shtick. So like CBS Sunday Morning, he does these little 5-minute, talking about somebody that is nobody that he thinks is a somebody. He's been doing this forever, but he actually worked at the CBS affiliate up here in LA when I was sort of, starting to really get my notoriety in radio. And he called me one day, saying, wow, we have the same name, blah, blah, blah. But long story short, the Winning Time, as you guys know, I was the radio voice, sports radio voice of Winning Time, the show that we had a couple of years ago. Yeah. And IMDb gives him credit for it. So on IMDb, it says the other Steve Hartman was featured on Winning Time about the Lakers and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wait a second, no, you got the wrong Steve Hartman.
Well, maybe you could cash his retirement checks if you guys both have the same name. That'd be pretty cool too.
That would be wonderful. He's actually younger than me, so I'm gonna lay claim to that.
Maybe he's gonna cash your retirement check, Steve. All right, let's get to some sports. Pretty big matchup Saturday night. So actually, let's start with the college football playoff. So we had a couple of upsets, some really good games over the weekend, but let's start with that Ole Miss Georgia game. The last 2 minutes of that game, which seemed to take an hour of real time off the clock. What would you think about the way that one finished up?
Well, first of all, the last second of the game was ridiculous. I mean, that was absolutely beyond absurd. I mean, think about this. They had to take the stage off twice off the field. It was absolutely ridiculous how that game ended. But think about this, guys. So we've had the expanded playoff for 2 years, and the teams that had a bye are 1-7. The teams that had a bye are now 1-7. Georgia, by the way, is now 0-2 in 2 years having a bye. I think each year of the playoff, they're realizing something's amiss. And I knew that when you have a team that's laid off for 26 days versus a team that's been laid off for 10 days, there's going to be a huge advantage to the team that just played. Indiana obviously was the one team. It doesn't matter. I mean, they look like a runaway freight train right now. And Kurt Cignetti is firmly established himself as the number one college football coach in the country. And this is crazy. Guy's 64 years old. The guy basically was a career assistant, was at a couple small schools, graduated at James Madison, and then takes over Indiana, which has one of the worst records in the history of college football, and immediately turns them around. It is one of the unbelievable stories over the last couple of years in college football.
So, Steve, when you look at the whole Lane Kiffin storyline, apparently he's got 6 assistants, including the offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss, who might not be coaching next week against Miami. What do you make of this? Should he let him coach? What do you think of this whole situation?
I think that he should never step foot in the state of Mississippi again. I mean, if Charlie Weiss Jr., and we have to make sure people understand this is not, frontal, but Charlie Weiss, this is his son. If he takes him away, because, they got the transfer portal coming up. So that starts on Friday, and you really need all hands on deck for the transfer portal. So if he steals away Charlie Weiss Jr. before Ole Miss's game against Miami in the semifinals, I literally will state he should never step foot in the state of Mississippi again. This has been an absolute nightmare. Now, it didn't have to happen, according to him. He claims he tried to make a deal to stay at Ole Miss through the end of the season, and they rejected it. Well, they won 2 playoff games, so they haven't really missed them on the sideline. But you lose your offensive coordinator, that would be a whole different ball game. So, yeah, it's unfortunate for Miss because, look, I mean, what do we have? We have a 1 seed, a 5 seed, a 6 seed, and a 10 seed. We're all over the map in this college football playoff. But yeah, if I were Lane Kiffin, I would stay away from the state of Mississippi.
I kind of love what the players are doing, though. You can tell they're banding together here, and it's been fun to watch. But I don't know how they do without 6 more coaches. All right, Steve, NFL. Niners Seahawks Saturday night for the 1 seed in the NFC. The chaos is all there. How do you see the game going?
It's a tough game. Like I said, I mean, Mike Vrabel deserves to be coach of the year for what he's done in New England this year, but the actual best in-season coaching job has been Kyle Shanahan, no question about it, what he's been able to do to weather the storm with the injuries and everything else. But I said this before the season. The game changer for San Francisco were 2 things. 1, they had an easier schedule. They had a last-place schedule. And 2, they've had a healthy Christian McCaffrey. When you have McCaffrey, it changes everything for the 49er offense. You know what? I'm still leaning Seattle. To me, it's a coin toss between the Seahawks and the Rams for the best team in the league, but the 49ers are not far behind. I mean, you could literally make an argument that 3 best teams in the entire NFL reside in the NFC West.
Steve, what do you make of Sunday Night Football between the Ravens and the Steelers? Like, whoever loses, who has more repercussions or more wholesale changes?
Well, I think the Ravens. Well, first of all, the Steelers, you're going to have to find a new quarterback next year because I just got to believe this is it. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year. He was able to milk one last year. As far as the Ravens are concerned, they have a big decision to do with Lamar Jackson. Think about this, guys. So he has had 7 years in the NFL, and they've won 3 playoff games in 7 years. 3 in 7 years with Lamar Jackson. And he stands to be making an excess of $70 million. He has no guaranteed money on his contract the next 2 years. Now, remember, he's his own agent, so he has no one to blame but himself for this. But if I'm the Ravens, I really seriously have to think about this. I mean, I know that he's an amazing talent, but it has not panned out in terms of playoff victories. I also think if they were to lose this game and not make the playoffs, they need to take a hard look at John Harbaugh. I think John Harbaugh is one of the most overrated coaches in the NFL, and he has been for a long time. So I think there's going to be more changes in Baltimore if the Ravens lose this game. I think Mike Tomlin is safe, guys. I just don't think the Steelers are going to part company. I mean, does he really want to lead the Steelers to take, I don't know, like the New York Giants job? Why would he want to do that? Doesn't make any sense. So I think things are steady except for a new quarterback in Pittsburgh. but I think some big changes are coming in Baltimore.
And you start putting together the dots with Baltimore, and there's a smear campaign that's kind of coming out from one of the Baltimore beat reporters about Lamar Jackson falling asleep in team meetings and video gaming until 1 a.m. during the season. And you're like, oh, maybe Baltimore's ready to be done with Lamar. Maybe not Lamar done with Baltimore with the news that he wanted to go to Miami or something. All right, Steve, how was your New Year's Eve?
I worked. I always work New Year's Eve. Actually, I didn't work late New Year's Eve. I actually had early afternoon. Guys, I'm not like you guys, partying all night, I mean, Sammy's juggling multiple women on New Year's Eve. Now, we already talked about this, how dangerous that can be. How about you? Fletch, what did you and Kendall do on your New Year's Eve?
We had some people over to the house. We had some cocktails, had some dinner. It was a lovely evening, Steve.
Tell them what actually happened.
Perfect.
What actually, around 11:55 when you got a bunch of couples around and it's New Year's Eve, everyone starts to kind of corner off together. And so that happened, and I gave my wife a kiss right as the ball dropped on New Year's Eve. But there was one single lady at our house, Steve, and she had her New Year's kiss with my dog, Brock. It was lovely. It was a nice moment.
Well, I'm curious from Sammy. So how did you choose amongst the women for your makeout scene on midnight?
He just lined them up, Steve, and just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blah,
Uncle
blah,
Steve,
blah,
we don't kiss and tell. That's what my parents taught me.
Really? Because I know everything about your father and mother. So
oh my God,
me for years. Oh yeah, I mean, come on. Your mom just runs her mouth. It's unbelievable.
Oh man, I wish you could see his face.
I know things about how you came into this world.
Oh
Sammy.
no,
I know.
the phone's breaking up.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
No, we want details, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff, man. Cheers to you in 2026. I hope it's a great year for you, Steve, and it's always great to hear your voice.
All right, love you guys, and I was able to, as I told Sammy off air, I was able to jump on Jim Russell's final show. Love Jim. Going to miss him down there. Talk to Schaefer a little bit, but that's tough to say goodbye to the great Jim Russell.
The great Jim Russell, also known as the WOAT, the worst of all time. I believe that nickname popped up when we were doing the Hartman and Rich O show, but we love Jim and we always will.
Absolutely. All right, guys. We're looking forward to a big 2026.
How about it? Steve Hartman right there, where he's going to be on with us every single Friday of 2026 like he was in 2025. Quick break here. We'll wrap this thing up on the other side, give you some bets to head into the weekend with. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we got like 5 minutes left here on our final show of the week. It's Friday, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. Thank you for being here. So we're each going to give out a bet that we like for this weekend, and then we're going to talk about the Stranger Things finale without spoilers. So you can stay tuned if you haven't watched it yet. But my favorite bet this week is the Rams -7 taking on the Cardinals. Sean McVay has gone on record talking about how pissed off he is about that Atlanta Falcons loss that they just took. Everyone's going to be playing regardless of seeding. And when you look in Sean McVay's eyes when he's pissed off like this, I think the Rams -7, they may blow Arizona out by 25 this weekend. He's going to run up the scoreboard to show that the Rams are still the top of the NFC.
I'm going Sunday Night Football, Ravens, Steelers. Now, I think Baltimore's going to win this game, but 4.5 on one of the most heated rivalries in all of football. And traditionally, when you're betting this game, you always take whoever gets the points.
Right.
We're staying away from that. Point total 40.5, and people are going, that's low. That's super low. Like a 21-20 game hits the over. I think it goes under. I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to move the football. They have no receivers. Darnell Washington, DK Metcalf are not there. I don't see it from that perspective. And I think the Steelers defense will show out because they have talent, even though they haven't put it together all year. I think that they'll show out. I think the Ravens win, but I think it's a low scoring game going under 40.5.
It's kind of crazy that DK Metcalf punching a dude in the face might cost the Steelers a playoff.
Seriously. And he just signed a 4-year deal, so he's going to be there for a while.
Crazy. All right. Stranger Things finale. It came out on New Year's Eve. I watched it New Year's Day morning. A little underwhelmed, if I'm being honest.
It was, without spoilers, because a lot of people haven't watched it. It was I was telling Fletch right before we went on here, I think they added too many characters. It got to a point in the final season where there was all the kids became stars in their own rights.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the whole adult storyline, the older kids storyline, and then they kept adding. Then you have the younger kids in this one. Like, there's like so many different storylines going on. I was I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed the finale, but I also was like, okay, like I feel like I've seen this in Harry Potter before.
Yeah. I think that they packed an incredible season in season 4. And I think initially that was supposed to be the end, season 4. Like, if you remember how season 4 ended, I think that there was
it could have worked.
Easy way where the last 10 minutes could have been a little different. And that's the whole season comes to an end. And that probably would have been perfect. And cut it off there and have whatever spinoffs you want, whatever. But they give you this season 5, and Netflix gave them hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm sure, to make a season 5. And if you remember, the first 4 episodes were pretty great. The Thanksgiving drop, and that even finished on a moment where you're like, okay, we could be done if they change up the last 15 minutes of that. But to go on, unfortunately, they just went on too long. And look, Game of Thrones did the exact same thing, where the first part of the final season was really, really great with Game of Thrones. It ended with the Battle of the Bastards, which is one of the most iconic episodes of television ever. It went on too long. And unfortunately, Stranger Things, I was pretty underwhelmed by the finale, which sucks because that is one of my favorite TV shows I've ever watched.
I think we always compare finales to Breaking Bad, which is the pinnacle of how a finale should be.
It's the only one. It's the only TV show of my lifetime that ever landed the plane perfectly.
Right, it was perfect. They went out on top. They were the biggest show on television. It was a great, like, Seinfeld's finale sucked. You had a lot of
Look, I love The Office. The finale blew.
Yeah, because Michael wasn't in it at the end.
He was in the finale.
No, he was. But remember, he didn't go back to the office with them. And apparently that was Steve Carell's choice because he thought it showed Michael growing. I'm like, no, we want to see Michael with everyone.
Yep.
Listen, it was a great show. Really enjoyed it. They're doing a spinoff series. I don't think I need to watch that.
I think they're doing a few. They're doing an animated one that's called like The Tales of 85.
Yeah.
And I think they got a couple live action ones coming too. We don't need
that.
No, if they would have ended the show at the end of season 4 and had the big fight and then just killed the bad guy at the end of season 4, everything would have been fine.
There's so much I want to get into, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
I know. It's but it was a good F-bomb. There was one F-bomb in the entire series history, and they nailed it. It was a good one.
It was good.
It was a good F-bomb, which I always appreciate in shows.
So we have
movies.
40 seconds. Seahawks, Niners, what's happening? Give me a final score, Fletch.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Niners, gang. They scored 35. The Seahawks scored 28. Sam Darnold cries.
35-28.
35-28.
I'm going to go 2017 Seahawks. I think you're crazy for thinking this game's going over. 35. I think this is an easy under game.
If the Niners don't get to 35, they lose the game. So they get to 35.
So that's not a lot of faith in the defense.
35. Not a lot of faith in the defense. You're absolutely right.
Please,
all right.
Seattle. Please, Seattle.
Coming up at 5 o'clock tonight, it's the Holiday Bowl. John Schaefer, Rich Ornberger on the call. That's it for us today. We will see you on Monday. Happy 2026, everybody. Thank you for being here.